Place. You drive through the streets of Green Bay, no tall buildings, quaint houses, and then boom, right there in the middle of the neighborhood is iconic Lambeau Field. Two teams that have met at least twice a year since 1932. The Lions and Packers underway from Lambeau. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And able to use his stiff arm for a little bit of leverage before he's taken down. A pretty good gain. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. They only needed a few inches there on second, but forget the halfback dive. They were going for the big one.
I thought it was a good time to take a shot. You figure with their running game, if they don't get it there, you come back and run for it and pick up the first down. Go ahead and be aggressive. Try and get one downfield for a big one.
And he is going to have a Packers first down, maybe by about a yard as they find a way to convert on 3rd and inches. Didn't get it by much, but bottom line got the first down. Avoiding that 3 and out, how vital is that on the first drive?
To me, it's like the first round of a boxing match. You know, it may not mean much right then and there, but you'd rather not lose it, right? So you want to go ahead and get it, kind of establish something early, and hope it can carry through.
Call it a gain of a yard, and it's 2nd down. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Packer first down.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted. The running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Pretty straightforward play there by the linebacker. He saw the run, went with straight-ahead pursuit, and dumped him behind the line of scrimmage.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. They go bootleg. Love. He'll get this into the hands of the rookie from Texas. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 22-yard line. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
And this is exactly the kind of drive you're hoping for out of the gates. They're mixing the run and the pass well, keeping this defense off balance early. And they're on the march here with another first down.
They'll send a receiver in motion left. Love, they go play action now. Short throw, he's got Kraft. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that will bring up 2nd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end, and look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football, and that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
That's to Kraft, the tight end. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. And now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Tucker Kraft from 6 yards away. And the Packers will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Right off the bat, they start with a very solid, methodical 10-play drive.
And you know me, I tend to look at things from the defensive side. They're coming off the field gassed right away. We're in the first drive of the game. So it's not just what happened, but think of the emotion you carry into a game. Then double it with getting a 10-play drive put on you and points scored. They're pretty tired right now.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10. Now it's Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Goff. He's got a man, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. An excellent gain, 35 yards.
It's early, but announcer cliche alert here. Big players make big plays. Should I say in big games too? Oh, what the heck. And this defense, they're going to have to find some way to slow him down as this game goes on, because when this combination is going good, they can tear your secondary apart.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
To throw is Goff. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So the completion good for just 3. And it's 3rd and 4 now.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the 1st down.
Here's Goff. Man open, it's St. Brown. He's got it. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 21. A sizable 16-yard chunk there. The drive continues.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in a defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the 1st down.
Throws out left. It's caught by Williams. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. Second down and a yard. In motion left comes Williams. Off play action. Here's Goff. This is caught. And the Lions are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
1st and goal and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. Now Goff. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. It's Kingsley Enagbari finding a way in to bring him down. First and goal looked like things were set up nicely, and now all of a sudden on second and goal, Charles, a big challenge ahead of them.
And you have to know when you're this close to the goal line, things are going to happen faster, so you've got to get the ball out quick. Not going to have much time in the pocket before the defenders bring pressure.
And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. A big play forthcoming. Here's third and goal. Out of the gun, Goff. There's Laporta. He's got it. Touchdown, Lions. A 3-yard touchdown pass. And the Lions are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Extra point right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Packers offense here coming back out for their second drive. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school coach, John Ford. I can hear his voice in my head. Laddie, when you put the ball in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. For the way the game's being played now, this is just part of what they do, so I don't think they should change anything at all. They've been dominant. Keep throwing it around. What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Second down and 3. On play action. Love to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz. And the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
What do they have for this? 3rd and 11. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Love now. And that is incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
On 4th down, the Packers call on Daniel Whelan to punt. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Lions will take over. In motion, the tight end. And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field of the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. He's got it to Williams. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
This pass down the field for Gibbs. He's got it at the 15. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 68 yards. And the Lions have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Called it the 26. The Packers offense set to go. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Loving the Packers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. He's got the hook up with Dobbs. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Back for the second quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football. They'll come up 2nd and 7 as they've got it as we resume action. Here's Love. Throwing.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have made on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Throwing. Love. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Going back to Love. On the out route, Dobbs brings it in. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing. And they got it done.
Jacobs going to try the middle. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Once again, it's Jacobs. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. 27 yards for Josh Jacobs. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying up this ball game.
We see this a lot on third and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And he not only picks up the first, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Detroit's offense ready to take over. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10. At their own 27. In motion comes the tight end left. Goff. That's to the tight end Laporta. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Throw to St. Brown, complete on the left side. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left. Gibbs straight ahead. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. So that one a disaster, a big loss there with 2nd down coming up.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack, but that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward. Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And he'll bring this one inside the 35.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Lions on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Goff. And that will be incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
On 4th down, on is Jake Bates for the Lions field goal. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It will be a 51-yard attempt. Bates' kick is good, and they take a 17-14 lead. Well, maybe a little bit of an anxious moment there as that ball got closer and closer, but it does curl in.
Yeah, actually did a little bit of a slow dance there with the left upright, didn't it? But had just enough space, as you said, for it to curl in.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
They'll run right here with Jacobs. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Love from the gun on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
Here's Daniel Whelan now. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And they will take over 1st and 10. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
Back to throw, Goff. And he can't hang on to it, and the screen never got started.
I like the call. It looked like the right time to dial up a running back screen. But this one got disrupted right from the start and ends up falling incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Goff. That's to the sideline and incomplete. Looks like this will be the drive they come up empty after a couple of touchdowns and a field goal on those first 3 drives.
Yeah, but shed no tears for them, okay? So they come up empty on one, but as you noted, they put plenty of points on the board. They don't look close to being done in this one. A lot of adjustments still needing to be made on the defensive side of the field.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return, and it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Love going to break the huddle, lead the Packers up here 1st and 10 at their own 44. They'll send the tight end in motion left. Completed out left to Dobbs. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Second and a couple. Here's Jacobs from the gun, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that, got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw, and that is incomplete. And here's Daniel Whelan on now to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And did he put that on a dime? He did. Wow, out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And following that punt, which turned out as well as it possibly could have, this offense has 99 yards to go to the other end zone.
And the defense is frothing at the mouth with a chance to get points themselves. If they tackle a runner in the end zone, safety. And if there's a holding call in the end zone, that's also a safety as well. So either way you decide to go on offense, you've got to be careful.
Right side to Williams. And he's going to be out of bounds up past the 5. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, sometimes the lineman can wander downfield. And if you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice game. I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Goff now looks to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Lions first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 22 now, here's the 2nd down and 6. Now it's Goff. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Goff now to throw. It's complete to Williams. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. And they'll send the tight end in motion. To throw is Goff. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And you figure, Charles, they have enough time here in the first half, more than a minute, to put a drive together, at least get them in position to try a field goal.
Yeah, they've got all 3 timeouts at their disposal, so I'm actually thinking bigger. With those 3 timeouts, that amount of time on the clock, I'm thinking about trying to get a touchdown and settle for a field goal.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Only 3 there on the screen. It's 2nd down.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Play action this time with Love. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So touchdowns on their first 2 drives, but looking like that won't be the case here.
Yeah, it looks like someone put their dukes up a little bit, doesn't it? Maybe decided to finally make a stand because those first 2 drives, they got run over. Now, finally, got their feet under them, got a little bit of balance. They're getting off the field.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. The Lions now taking over late in this first half. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Gone. Got St. Brown running the quick slant here. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Second down and 4. Now gone. A quick throw there is incomplete.
I can assure you, setting up a screen is much more difficult than it appears. It requires excellent timing from everyone on the offense, and a defense's #1 goal is to throw that timing off.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now Goff. That is caught, and he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts, so that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
2nd and 10. Goff now looking to throw.
That ball nearly intercepted. The rookie had his hands on it but couldn't pull it in.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Throwing again is Goff. He's airing it out for Williams. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jared Goff with his third touchdown pass of the afternoon.
And the Lions will extend their lead here just before halftime.
Now the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
The Packer offense heading back for one final first half drive. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
Final 10 seconds of the half as they've got it 1st and 10. Throwing. Love. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And the Lions getting set to go on offense to start the third. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
Yeah, they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Another run for Gibbs here. And he'll get a couple up to the 29. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
Play action. It's Goff. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2.
And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
A short throw to Musgrave.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards.
Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Love looking to throw it. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. The Clemson product, DJ Reader, got in for the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
On now is the Packers punter. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. So here come the Lions now. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Here's 2nd and 10.
They'll fake the give. Now Goff. He's airing it out for Williams. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Detroit. 4 touchdown passes now for Jared Goff.
And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Green Bay's offense ready to go again. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Love, they go play action now.
And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart and his pride has kicked in. Made a terrific play.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll have it past me. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down.
And this offense needed something to try and seize the momentum a little bit, and that might have been exactly what they needed. Now they have a chance to go downfield and score and cut into the lead.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. To pass, here's Jordan Love. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Off the play fake, Love. They'll roll him out right. And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker, 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
They go with Jacobs. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the 1st down.
To the left side, there's the tight end Musgrave.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 yards down to the 15 and a 1st down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
Here's 2nd and 7.
Now Love.
Slant route, he's got Dobbs.
Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And it's a Packers touchdown. Jaden Reed from 6 yards away.
And the Packers are able to cut into that deficit.
Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. And Detroit back in possession of the football. This now a 10-point game, so things tightening a little bit after that last score. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At the 33-yard line.
They'll start things off with a give to Gibbs.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Here's Goff.
To the right side and intercepted.
picked off by Jair Alexander. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. Here's a handoff to Jacobs. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable second down.
Love now. Throw left side complete. That's Jacobs. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Love. Open man, he's got Reed. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. They will run the draw with Jacobs. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. To throw now, here's Love. Pass incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They run it with Jacobs. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a fourth down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
The kick by McManus is good, and this is back down to a 7-point game. Well, the 3 points certainly helps, but you feel like, Charles, at this stage of the game, when you force those turnovers, need to start converting them into touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised myself because I thought in this situation they were thinking end zone or bust. Now they got to rely on their defense to get the ball back again for another opportunity to get 6 points.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. And he returns this to the 22. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And they've got the lead here getting late into the third quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
And he'll be taken down right around the 27. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
Now 2nd and 5. They'll go again with Gibbs. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
Now 3rd down and 7. Goff now looks to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Loving the Packers now with a 1st and 10.
Right at the 30. Play fake. Here's Love. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10.
Here's Love.
That one thrown across his body, and it's incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Out of the shotgun, it's Love.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. On now is the Packers punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. This is taken at the 23. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Lions holding onto the football, and they also have the lead as we start quarter number 4. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
Just because you've got the lead in the 4th, it doesn't mean you have to play it safe. I like the aggressive play call there to push it downfield. That time, it didn't work out.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. Off play action. Here's Goff. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
The offense on 3rd down, they've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This is 3rd and 10. Goff now to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. He's trying to protect his quarterback's blind side. Got nabbed for the hold.
You have one job over there. Make sure that man does not get hit. So if you have to hold occasionally, do so because they don't catch all of them. This time they did.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Now it's Goff. And this one is incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Here now, 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
3rd and 5. Working out of the gun. Love. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
On now is the Packers punter as he's on to kick it away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Back to throw, Goff. And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Goff. His throw incomplete.
And trying to find Jamison Williams.
And it's 3rd and short. Gone. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air, and defensively, they were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Throwing to start the drive. Love
Got Dobbs over the middle.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
He's got exactly what you're looking for, the ability to not just diagnose a play and quickly, but to make a play as well. Nice job there tackling him for a loss.
Try to run for it with Jacobs. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
I'll bet they thought they had picked that one up because it was a 3rd and 2 call, and they got awfully close. Now we're at 4th and inches. I wonder if they think they're feeling lucky here and maybe want to go pick it up.
On now is the Packers punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return, and the Lions will take over.
And Detroit back in possession of the football.
And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Now Goff.
This pass down the field for Gibbs.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
And the Packers are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. So pass interference the call, and that does not look to be going over too well on the defensive side.
Or on their sideline, because I believe their head coach is saying right now, hey, you've got to call that both ways.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. To throw is Goff. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
And Gibbs has it.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
And this is the worry, because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
3rd and 8.
And he is going to lose yardage here. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards. Well, they were going draw play there. The defense wasn't fooled. They sniffed it out.
I think they're going to have to go back and take a few more acting classes, because that's what a lot of that is. You've got to influence them to think that it's going to be a pass play and have them drop out and maybe the defensive front coming forward and find yourself some space. In this case, no one was fooled and ended up spilling that play pretty well.
So that's, CD, an important one here in the 4th quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field.
And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. Love going to break the huddle, lead the Packers up here 1st and 10
at their own 23. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Out to the left here to Reed. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Love looking to throw it. He stiff arms him. Gets through, and now an opening. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Love, they go play action now.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They will throw again here with Jordan Love. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. To pass, here's Jordan Love.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Desperation time here. Love on 4th down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So that one a hold, right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Now Love. He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
So just 3 yards on the completion there. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Throwing. Love. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Well, they've certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Love. He finds his man, complete. That's Jacobs. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Love now.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. Made his first. This now from 42 yards out. The kick by McManus is good. And this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Time for another look at this Lions offense.
The field goal we just saw has this now at a 1-score game, and on this side of the football, things are getting pretty tenuous, a little stressful.
Blood pressure up a little bit, you think?
I think up a lot of it.
Could you imagine taking the pulse right now? It might be like a jackhammer out there on that side of the ball, but here's what the deal is. I think what we've observed is a team that's been playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. And they've got to get back to that, and that means opening things up again, being a little more free in what they're trying to get done on offense.
And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. Here's Goff. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. That one a first down pickup of 8.
From the gun, Gibbs will get it.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? You just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Gibbs will try and pick it up.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on to kick it away. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. There, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it.
So here's Love and the Packers.
Down by 7, a little under 1:50 remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there.
Not a bad game there, and it's okay to still run the football in this situation, but you got to be careful to not take too much time off the clock.
Here's 2nd down and 3. Now Love.
He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. Obviously a big first down right there.
Yeah, they still got to hustle. They got to get up to the line of scrimmage and get set. But I don't think necessarily you need to spike it, but they've got to continue to move quickly.
Final minute, one timeout remaining. 1st and 10. Love looking to throw it. Able to connect with Jacobs.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Here's Love.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Love. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
2 huge plays there down the stretch. The sack on 2nd down. Now they force the incompletion. That's going to lead to a do-or-die 4th down.
And they look like they've got the confidence right now that no matter what gets thrown against them, whatever play gets run, they have the ability to shut it down. They are just brimming with it right now.
Love to throw for it on 4th. That is caught. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
That was a long shot, but they did get one final chance to try to score and overcome this small deficit. No touchdown, though, Charles. And that brings this one to a close.
Yeah, I think Hope was wearing one jersey and Worry was wearing another on the other sideline as that final snap played out. Now, we've seen some incredible plays to win games before, but in this case, I think the distance was just a little bit too great for it to happen here.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long, everyone, from Lambeau.